Hi, I'm Mo, and when I fought, my parents beat me.
And I'm TJ, and I've been called a 10 before. A 10 out of 20.
And this is
It's still new to us, damn it!
Welcome to It's Soon to Us, Damn It. I'm Mo, he's TJ, he just said, and we are here to watch every movie ever made to be invited to parties.
That's right, we can now discuss yet another movie at
Another
these
movie.
parties. So that's right. That's
I
right.
thought we only knew a few movies, but no, it's growing more and more every day.
Resistance is futile.
Resistance is futile.
Invite us.
Yeah. Climate change, we don't want to talk about it. Today's politics, we don't want to talk about it. Sports, we don't want to talk about it. Movies, we want to talk about it.
From 1979, we're
Yes,
going to talk about it.
exactly.
That's absolutely right. Well, I suppose before we get into that movie from 1979, though, unless you're opposed, I say we get started with Banter Time.
Banter time.
Banter Time.
Banter time.
Banter Time.
Banter time. Banter time. Banter time.
Banter
Banter time.
Time.
Banter time. It's over.
So,
Okay.
Mo, what do you want to banter about?
Let's see. What have I done lately? Well, nothing much in my life. I mean, when you devote your life to movies, I mean, there's nothing much to do except sit on the couch and
Watch movies?
jerk off and eat a meatball sub like the whale. From the movie The Whale.
Ah,
Yes. My mom has watched that movie. I have not.
he does it? He eats a meatball sub and jerks off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my mom has watched a 500-pound man, played by Brendan Fraser, jerk off all kind.
I haven't seen The Whale yet, but I just hope there's a scene where he falls, because watching fat people fall is funny.
Was that fine? Meatball subs, pizzas, bad Moby Dick essays. Yeah. That's all I know.
Oh my gosh, so there's a Moby Dick motif. There's an actual whale motif.
Yeah,
that makes
the whale
sense.
motif. Yeah.
No, I actually have heard that was great. My fat joke notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Well, good. What else have you been up to?
Nothing much. Not watching any more new TV shows because I'm lame. What other movies have I watched? Let me pull up my good old letterbox. That's right, folks. Still have a letterbox. You can still follow me at Michael Mosheri. That is one word, Michael Mosheri, Moceri. Both capital M's at letterbox. If you want to see what I'm watching. Oh yeah, I watched the movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise.
Oh, how was that?
It was average.
Okay.
It's really weird. I thought there'd be more poetry involved in it. There's not. There's like some sections of poetry, but I thought it was like him trying to become a famous poet.
Oh,
There's a suicide that you don't expect at all.
okay.
There's like 1 second, like everybody's having a good time, like sure they're like little down on themselves, and then all of a sudden suicide.
Is it like the Omen type of suicide where like someone jumps out of a building?
No, it
Or
is very
like
bloody though.
A Boogie Nights type of suicide, or
It's kind of like that. He slit his throat with a glass of expensive brandy.
wow.
Yeah. It's just really out of nowhere. You're just like, okay, like these guys are bartenders, they're having fun. One guy has opened up a bar of his own, he's not having a good time. He's having problems and stuff like that. Straight to suicide. We're like,
Damn.
okay, this movie did not prepare us for suicide at all.
Wow.
It was like, this is a fun time, or like a romantic comedy, some drama, but it's fun, they're doing cocktail tricks and reading bad bar poetry. And I
Yeah.
was like, nope, suicide. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like a 360.
It'd be like if Norman Cheers killed himself or something.
Yeah, true.
Or Woody, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I watched a movie called All American Murder with Christopher Walken
Outstanding.
and Charlie Slater from. He's from like a bunch of stuff. He's from 18 Again, that movie where George Burns plays an 18-year-old.
Fantastic.
He was in Diagnosis Murder with Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But it was amazing. It was like it's directed by the guy who played Potsy on Happy Days,
Okay.
Ansel Williams. Yeah. It was like kind of giallo horror, like mystery horror, Very bloody, very sexual, but very well done. You can't really tell. Like the ending shocked me because I was just like, "What do you?" It's still like I didn't know what was going on. Like I knew what was going on, but it was hard to tell who did it. Then you finally reveal it. Like, oh my god, I didn't expect that. So actually, really good. So,
Good.
Yeah, check out. I got it from Vinegar Syndrome, which is a great platform. We're not sponsored by Vinegar Syndrome at all.
Vinegar Syndrome?
Yes, Vinegar Syndrome is a great platform where they, Criterion Channel, Criterion
Criterion, yeah.
Collections.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they do this with B movies and like genre movies.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so they do like I told you one about how it's an evil clown doll, but it's a B movie from Mexico, so they couldn't afford the animatronics to actually make a living doll. So they just dressed a little person up as a as a clown, and some moments it's just a clown doll, and then it becomes a live man.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
It's amazing. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, there's also like rabid grannies where like grandmas go and saying become zombies. Like I think it's called Auntie Moe's Meat Pies or something like that, where it's about cannibalism. There's a whole bunch of great movies on there, like a bunch of Slack, a lot of great stuff. The Get Even movie where a guy who ran a construction company wanted to make a movie, wanted to be an action star. So
Oh,
it's his-
Getaven?
Yeah, Get Even.
Get Even,
Yeah, it's Get Even. They have that. It's great, yeah. So, like I said, you check out Vanilla Syndrome. Once again, we're not sponsored by them, but another great service.
I'm right. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
This end of filmmaking, yes, amazing.
What an idea to make a streaming service around schlock. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I know. All American Murder has like the best song I've ever heard in the movie before. It's called Out of the Darkness. It's not by like somebody famous or anything. It's by some guy who they paid to write it. It was like out of the darkness into the light. And it's like this guitar solo. It's like damn, damn.
I just hearing you do it, I feel like I can hear the song. It sounds like any generic '80s metal song.
Yeah,
Like,
it's amazing. It's the best.
It
thing.
sounds amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. I also watched a movie called Sexy Beasts, directed by Jonathan Glazer. Mm-hmm. It's actually really good. Ben Knightley's in it. Not Ben Knightley. Sorry. Is it Ben Kingsley?
Kingsley. Yeah.
Ben Kingsley. Yes. As you know, Gandhi and many other roles, which so many movies he's been in, but most famously Gandhi. But yeah, he played this. It's about this retired bank robber who lives in Spain with his wife and also with his buddy, who was also a bank robber, and his wife. But they're called back to do one more job by this psychotic maniac played by Ben Kingsley, and he does an amazing job. You know, like, you hear stories of people tell about, like, this crazy guy who, like, does all these crazy things, and you feel him. That's what Ben Kingsley plays. Like, you see him, and everybody's just afraid of him. Like, he just gives the impression, like, this guy will fucking murder you if you mess with him at all. And it's just that. And it's all, like, the whole movie's not actually the crime itself. The whole movie is this Ben Kingsley just being there and, like, saying, you gotta do the job. You're doing the fucking job. And he's not leaving until he does the fucking job. And, like, that's the whole movie. And it just keeps on getting more interesting and interesting. And then when the finally job does happen, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not, like, the end-all, be-all. It's just, like, the main thing was just mostly this Ben Kingsley. And, like, what happens after you leave the game and then you try to actually... But you don't want to go back in. Because a lot of movies are just like, hey, I want to go back into the crime, you know, because I missed the thrill of it. But these guys are like, no, I don't want it anymore.
Just when, okay,
Yeah, but you no, but then like it's kind of like you can't leave the game. You can never leave the game, you know, something like that.
Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in.
You can never leave the game. But this happens. Like, what if I do want to leave the game and I don't want to go back? Mm-hmm. And this is what happens. So yeah, so this is what happens. This is what you have to do to make sure you don't go back in the game.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it was a good movie.
Yeah. It's really good too. The opening shot is the main character. He's naked, like almost naked, tanning. Only has a Speedo on, and Peaches by the Stranglers play. So it's like dun 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 dun, walking on the beaches, looking at the beaches, and it's really cool and stuff. And then like a boulder just rolls down the hill, and like almost kills him, and it just crashes into his pool, and that sets up to how it's going to end the movie.
So there's some foreshadowing.
Some foreshadowing.
Oh, Chekhov's boulder.
Yeah, I've heard of Jonathan Glazer, director. He did The Zone of Interest. The movie just came out last year. Under the Skin, that one movie with Scarlett Johansson where she's an alien. Yeah. He did another movie called Birth, starring Nicole Kidman, where it's about a woman who lost her husband, and 10 years later, a little kid comes by and said, like, I'm the reincarnation of your husband. Yeah, so it is very polarizing film. So I'm gonna check it out. It's on Criterion, so that's kind of cool. Yeah. But Jonathan Glazer, I heard, is fantastic. He doesn't really direct a lot of movies. He only directed 4, but he's mostly done music videos and stuff like that. But I heard he's a fantastic director. So I'd like to check out more of that, definitely.
Good.
Let's see. Anything else? Books, reading-wise? Still reading Kevin Wilson books. I finished Mouse. I really want to... There's a book that's about critical studies of Mouse itself. Basically where scholars have read Mouse and analyze it. I actually want that. Actually, let's see. I'm reading short stories by Kevin Wilson right now. Really fantastic. One is about... actually, it's like the most normal relationship I've ever seen in a book ever. It's not really... It's about a mom whose husband died. Her son is like a musician, semi-famous musician. And his band's just equipment got stolen, and he just goes back home. And then it's like this little bit of the fallout in their relationship of what happens after that. He has to get a real job, but then the band gets back together, get the money, and then he just leaves again, and it kind of just goes back into his routine. So it's kind of like just like a kind of real relationship with a parent like that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's really good. What else? I got a bunch of books still. I'm still reading the Reggie Watts biography. I got that still. So I got a bunch of stuff to read. So yeah. But yeah, TV wise, nothing much. Wrestling wise, still watching AEW, still going great. Surprised what the ratings say, but still going good. Sasha Banks is there. Or Mercedes Moné.
No
as they call
way.
her. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I did see that actually.
Yeah, that's really
It's
cool.
a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's a really big deal
Yeah,
for them.
it's really
Nice. Very nice. We've got.
Little Ospreay's there.
Yep.
Kazuchika Okada's there. I know, it's really an exciting time for wrestling. WrestleMania's coming in 2 weeks and stuff like that, but
No, that's this weekend, bro.
that's this weekend.
Yeah, that's Saturday and Sunday.
So the first night, we'll get into this a little bit later, but the first night, main event will be The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's the main event night. Then night one, is that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes then?
Oh, I thought night 2 was Roman Reigns
Night two.
versus Cody Rhodes.
Night two, I meant. Sorry,
yeah,
night two.
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's gonna be exciting. Anything else happening besides that? I haven't been keeping tagged.
Shit, no, it's spring. Spring's boring. Isn't it boring, kinda? I mean, Easter's
Yeah, it's
aight.
kind of cold, kind of not warm. It's kind of like something like
Well,
that.
right, especially here in Michigan. We just had a 70 degrees 2 weeks ago, and then we had 30 degrees last week.
Yeah.
Today was nice, and then I got an alert on my phone that we're going to get snowstorm this week sometime. So
That's fun.
it's kind of a weird time of year, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Football's obviously done. Basketball
What do you
and
mean,
hockey are
TJ?
coming
The
down.
UFL starting right now.
Oh, that's true. That is true. And our Michigan Panthers are undefeated at time
True.
of recording, and our Detroit Tigers are too.
All right.
They'll be playing in a few minutes here. Actually, they are playing.
That's good.
Um,
Anything for you, TJ? What have you been watching, reading, or?
I watched through seasons 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks really quickly. Well, actually,
it's actually
season
really
2
good.
specifically. So I hadn't seen Twin Peaks since I first got Netflix back in 2009.
Yeah.
And I remember liking it, but like really, really liking season 1.
Yeah,
Now-
I think that's what everybody says. 'Cause-
Right. Well, this time rewatching it with the expectations of having already seen it, I loved season 2. I hate the fact that he was forced to reveal the killer before he wanted to.
Yeah.
But honestly, the way they transitioned to something completely different, this time around, I was just all for it. I think it's just being older and being more of a David Lynch guy. I know I railed on the movies I picked of his a few seasons ago, but I am a David Lynch fan.
Yeah.
I just didn't like Wild at Heart, I think, and that soured me briefly. And Elephant Man was just good.
Yeah.
You know, but rewatching Twin Peaks was a treat because season 2, as goofy as it is, it wraps up so quickly. In relation to there's 22 or so episodes in that second season. Leland is, out of the picture like 7 in, and then they just have these wacky storylines with a beauty contest and a fashion show.
Yeah.
And it's just so goofy and over the top,
Yeah.
and it is sad they never got to resolve that cliffhanger in the 90s. But I did finally start the
Season 3?
third season. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that's like literally some of the best television.
I'm
ever.
excited to. Yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes and they're very good.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch Fire Walk with Me after.
I've
I'm
seen.
done with
I
it all.
own Firewalk with Me.
I've never seen it. So
It
maybe
is. It's just like a retelling of like how she got murdered. How low
sure.
that was.
Yeah, I'm aware of the general, the premise and all. I know
Yeah.
David Bowie's in it.
David Bowie's in it. I think
Yeah.
David Bowie's also in the original series. Also,
Was he really?
I think so. You rewatched it. You never seen?
Yeah,
David Bowie?
I didn't remember seeing
Maybe he
him.
was
but
just in the movie.
It's possible.
I do know in the
that.
third season, David Bowie is replaced by just they replace him with a giant fucking furnace. Yeah,
Outstanding.
outstanding. Yeah. I gotta rewatch that because luckily the podcast Blank Check. Maybe we should stop mentioning better movie podcasts on here. So that way we'll be like, oh yeah, Blank Check. Let's go there.
No, we'll be like, you know what we're going to do? We're going
What?
to keep mentioning them.
Yeah.
And what we're going to be is like those fish that latch on to the bigger fish.
Yeah.
For sustenance.
Yeah, exactly. We can take on to the Blank.
Red Letter Media.
Yes. Yeah. The recently did the March Madness poll, which
Oh,
they
yes.
took, I believe, 16 directors, each one new. They haven't wanted to cover before. The finals were Spike Lee and David Lynch won. So they're going to be becoming David Lynch movies and also Twin Peaks
That's cool.
on the Patreon. So that's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, honestly, rewatch Twin Peaks if you can. It's funny because I can see why, like, you know, I can see why people in the 90s might have been frustrated by it. The first season, it's like 7 episodes, and it's so taut. It's such a taut mystery. Like, yeah, it's got tinges of supernatural, but it's a really well-executed, super fast-paced 7 episodes.
Yeah.
And it leaves you on a great cliffhanger. And then season 2 is something completely different. It's like the town getting back to normal small town weirdness. You've got James, who's perpetually looking like he's about to cry. You know, the biker kid.
Yeah.
You got him in a love triangle with Laura's cousin, who's played by the same actress.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Funniest thing. There's no chill there. David Lynch doesn't care. He just loves employing Cheryl Lee, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why he did Fire Walk with Me, but. No, rewatch it if you haven't seen it in a while. That show it's aged particularly well because you can see its influence in things nowadays, like True Detective or even The Curse, I would say.
Yeah, I'm still surprised David Lynch did a TV show because he hates deadlines.
Yeah,
He hates like rigid schedules and stuff like
he
that.
hates being forced to do things by the producers.
Yeah,
who
so-
again forced him to reveal the killer early in season 2.
I don't know why. He could have lasted like I know shows have lasted longer for like love triangles and stuff like that, but. Yeah, he hated that. He had another TV show, which was a comedy, which is about I think it was like a radio show back in the 1940s or something. And like the major star was jealous of this like intern that just came in and became a star herself. And so each episode is him trying to sabotage her, but it's really weird and out there. There's one gag they use where it's like floating head, a guy who can't see in like 2 dimensions. So his eye just bugs out, and you just see everything like 3D or something like that.
Oh, wow.
It's really weird. You can find it on YouTube. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, I don't know if it's like it's probably not as good as Twin Peaks, but it's definitely out there. But they gave him another TV show, so it's just like,
hey,
it's crazy.
I mean, the man. I know he's never won an Academy Award specifically for a movie.
Yeah,
but he certainly. You could absolutely make the case that he's one of the most important filmmakers of all time.
Yeah, he's
There's
up there.
no
He's definitely
question.
up there with like the Miyazakis, the
There's no
Scorseses,
question.
the Nolans. You know, all those guys. Tarantino. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
But no, that's pretty much all I've been up to. Sad to say it's not more, but I got school.
School's for fools, TJ.
That garbage.
All you need
I
is
know.
movies. That's it.
Dude, I know.
Nothing else.
Movies and parties.
Movies and parties. That's it. Yeah. Well, we're gonna try something new right now. We're gonna recommend something to each other. It could be something we watched this week or something in the past, and we think that we should watch.
And because I like this idea, but because you blindsided me with it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
Okay. My suggestion, my recommendation of the week is revisit Twin Peaks season 2. Your turn.
Your turn. Okay, that's fine. When I was working today, I was just looking at Francis Ford Coppola films, and I didn't discover, but I remember the film Rumblefish.
Rumblefish?
Rumblefish. You know The Outsiders?
Huh.
Remember that book? You probably
Yeah.
read it in 8th grade and stuff
Yeah.
like that? All right, so...
Good movie, too.
Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola made The Outsiders, the movie, which is a big hit, very financial success. Stuff that brought him back to like the mainstream, because I think before that, he tried to start his own studio for the artists and everything like that. But the movie before that flopped financially, and the studio closed down, and then he had to do favors for people to get back into Hollywood's good graces. So,
Yeah.
Outsiders, big hit. A lot of stars came out of that. He decided to do the next S.E. Hinton book, which was called The Rumblefish. Yes, S.E. Hinton. S.E. Hinton.
Yeah.
She's a great writer. I love her books. I read The Rumblefish and The Outsiders again. I want to read text and all other stuff like that. But okay, so Rumblefish is the complete opposite of The Outsiders. It's the least commercial film you've ever seen before in your life. Experimental, weird music, all shot in black and white, unlike The Outsiders. It's insane. Like commercial deadness. Like if you were a commercial filmmaker, your career would be dead because you released this movie. But it's so wild, so full of energy and spirit that it's amazing. You're just like Francis Ford Coppola said, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna make a commercial movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a movie I want to make," and he did it.
Yeah.
And he had the balls to do it.
All
And it
right.
may have damaged his career a little bit, but I think after that he did Dracula. And I don't know exactly what he did after
Nice.
Rumblefish, but He still Francis Ford Coppola. So.
Honestly, after Apocalypse Now and the hell he went through to make that, I don't think he gave any shit.
Yeah.
In a good way, in a very good way. I mean, that guy, they did like half the movie, their star actor quit. They did another half the movie again, and sets were constantly destroyed. He had to put up his own winery or his vineyards for collateral to the bank.
Yeah.
He had everything riding on that movie, and after that, he didn't have any fucks to give. He was fearless.
Yeah. So after Apocalypse Now, he did One from the Heart, which was the movie he wanted to make sure his studio gets off the board. That failed. Then he did The Outsiders, was a hit. One Blue Fist, which was not a hit, but was amazing. He did Cotton Club, which I do not know was a hit or not. I think it's just some very medium movie. I think he saw Richard Gere about the 1930s, like jazz clubs or 1920s jazz clubs. Then Peggy Sue Got Married. That was a hit. Movie called Garden of Stone. Tucker, the Man in His Dreams, which I believe was a hit. That was a who's the dude?
Big Jeff
Bridges. That was Jeff Bridges' film. And then he did Godfather Part 3.
Yeah.
So which is, I heard it's actually a good movie. I mean, it's not as good as like Godfather Part 2 or 1, but it's still
a good movie.
Still a good movie. Mm-hmm. Besides the Sofia Coppola part, but that's it. Yeah. But yeah, Rumble Fist has Matt Dillon. It has Mickey Rourke. It has Nicolas Cage. I think Chris Penn's in it for a little bit.
Nice.
I don't remember. I think he has a small role. Diane Lanigan's in it. She was also in The Outsiders. Dennis Hopper's in it. It's a great movie. So yeah, it's really experimental and stuff. So may I suggest to the viewers and to you, TJ, go watch Rumblefish.
You got it.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those were our suggestions, and those were our banter time. So it is now time to end banter time. Banter time. Banter time. Banter time. Banter time. Banter time.
It's over.
Well, we've done our banter for this week. It is now time for the movies. TJ, what movie did we watch this week?
This week, Mo, we watched 10.
10.
Not 1. Not 2.
10.
Not 3.
10.
Not 4.
10.
Not 5.
10.
Not 6.
10.
Not 7.
10.
Not 8.
10.
Not 9.
10.
But
10. That's right, TJ. This week we are doing 10, released in 1979, directed by Blake Edwards, Breakfast at Tiffany's, and The Carey Treatment, and written by Blake Edwards, The Pink Panther, and Switch. An auteur?
I'm starting to suspect he's an auteur.
He's an auteur. You know the movie Switch? Have you heard that movie?
Switch. No, what's the one I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the Will Smith movie.
Yeah.
The one, was that called Switch?
No,
too?
Hitch. I think
Hitch.
Hitch,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I don't know.
Switch is about not Ellen DeGeneres. It was Ellen Barkin and Jimmy Smits. Ellen Barkin was originally it's a man who gets transformed into a woman, and he has to live as a woman and stuff like that. Jimmy Smits rapes her, and then she gets pregnant, and then they fall in love.
Not my Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
He would never.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't do that, Jimmy Smits.
Jeez, that sounds like that's terrible.
And it's a comedy.
Oh.
Yeah.
As was the style of the
Yep.
time, I guess.
It was really insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this one might not be any more tasteful, or actually, far more tasteful.
Yeah,
than
far more
that,
tasteful.
actually.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah,
that sounds unpleasant. Anyway, carry on.
yes. Starring Dudley Moore, author, The Mighty Kong, the animated Kong movie from 1998.
No shit.
Yes, that was his final role. A movie I did not know existed until I did research this day.
What a legacy!
Because I was just going through his Wikipedia, and then sometimes you click something, there's like something that's highlighted on the paragraph, and it shows you a photo of it.
Yeah.
I saw something. I was like, what was that? And then I saw King Kong. I was like, this is the
Oh
animated
yeah.
King Kong.
Oh, I've never actually seen it. Maybe that'll be on here
Yeah.
one day.
Yeah.
But oh my God.
The Mighty Kong,
That's
released in 1998.
That's like Donald Pleasance's last movie being Halloween 6: The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh man. Or Orson Welles being the last one was Transformers, the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though Transformers movie is way better than The Mighty Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julie Andrews, The Sound of Music, and S.O.B. Bo Derek, Tommy Boy, and Ghost Can't Do It, about a man who dies, becomes a ghost, and still wants to have sex with his wife, played by Bo Derek. I believe that's what that movie is about. It's really weird.
We'll catch that on the Bo Derek retrospective
Yes,
season.
we will. Yes, we will. And Robert Webber of 12 Angry Men and Wild Geese 2.
Nice.
Not 1, but 2.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. The budget was $5 to $6 million, and the box office of this film was $107 million. So it was a hit.
That is
Knocked it out of the park.
That is hot. That is
Hot. That is
very
hot.
That requires some oven mitts there.
That's hot. Well, TJ, we watched 10, but what is 10 about? Why don't you tell us?
George Weber, a middle-aged Hollywood songwriter, begins experience a midlife crisis upon turning 42. He ungraciously complains about the surprise party his caring girlfriend Sam arranged for him, and the very next day he becomes obsessed with a beautiful young bride while driving about in Beverly Hills. Her beauty, in fact, is so overwhelming that George is compelled to spy on her wedding ceremony, a stunt that sees him crash into a police cruiser and disrupt the wedding when he's stung by a bee. On a subsequent day, George visits with the priest who performed the wedding and learns the girl's name is Jenny Mills and that she's the daughter of a local dentist, whom he goes to see so he can covertly learn more about her. Could you imagine if this guy was around during the social media era?
True.
He'd be a real weirdo. While receiving 6 fillings, the doctor lets slip that his daughter and her groom, David, are honeymooning in Mexico, which prompts George to book a flight himself. South of the border, he spies, for lack of a better term, on the newlyweds at the beach, his infatuation with Jenny only compounding. When David carelessly falls asleep on a surfboard near deep waters, George, looking to impress Jenny, rents a boat and rides out to the sea and rescues him to much adulation. David is hospitalized with severe sunburns, during which time George and Jenny spend time together, smoking pot and discussing classical music. The conversation soon moves to the bedroom, where Jenny seduces George before she takes a phone call from David. To George's horror, she makes it clear to her husband that George is in bed with her currently, and David's apathy toward the news alarms him. Jenny informs him that the two share an open marriage, and George, hurt by the revelation that he's just a quick lay, opts to return home to Sam, where he's recommitted to strengthening their relationship emotionally and physically. The two begin to get intimate, and the film ends with George's neighbor, with whom he shares a mutually voyeuristic relationship, lamenting the fact that George never gives him anything sultry to watch. In the end, alleged hilarity ensues. Did I miss anything?
I don't think you did. You got it right, TJ.
Okay.
Way to go, 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
So, 10. So, I chose this one.
Yes.
Why did I? Oh, this was a 4-star review
Yes.
from Roger Ebert.
True.
He was a big fan, and we'll get to that. That is why I chose this. I had not. Oh no, I had heard of this movie. I listened to another podcast, and I'm just going to share it. It's called "You Must Remember This," and it has seasons devoted to basically documenting old school Hollywood stories, stories about old time Hollywood, and it's a very good podcast. But they did a season called Erotic 80s, about how sex in movies changed big time, with the whole porn chic era, and in the 70s transitioning to the 80s, and this movie was talked about with Bo Derek, the rise of Bo Derek, and this movie particularly. And all I remembered about it was the basic concept that this guy's creeping on a younger woman during a midlife crisis, and that it was a huge sensation at the time. And I was astounded that nobody ever talks about it anymore.
Yeah.
And that I'd never heard of it until then.
Yeah.
Did you know about this movie?
I knew about it. I think I watched like way back in the day. It was like I Love the 70s or something like that. I mean, I caught like a clip of like 10, Bo Derek or something like that. But I never thought about it again until when you chose this movie. Yeah. So this is like another one of those midlife crisis movies. We did one called Something Like It's Hot, where also known for a very, very famous scene. I'm not saying this one disappointed like that one, but that's just 2 we watched so far. I would say this one's way better than Something Like It's Hot, because at least they actually somewhat did the act. There actually is something to it instead of just like innuendos and shit like that.
Right.
So yeah, so that's good. But yeah, I've never really heard of this movie until we did it. Never really watched a lot of like Edwards films. I watched The Great Race, one of his movies. It was very cartoonist. It's like Wacky Races before Wacky Races.
Sure, yeah.
It's on Peter Falk, Elliot Gould, I think.
Sure.
And Tony Curtis. It's really fun. Has a great pie fight scene. There's like 1,000 pies. They just throw pies at each other. It's really great. Yeah, I suggest you check that out if you haven't.
I would love to watch this movie.
Yeah, but I never really got into Blake Edwards, like filmography and stuff like that. He's done like, once again, Breakfast at Tiffany's. He did the Pink Panther films. He did his wife, Julie Andrews, a lot of films with her. What else? He did a lot of major films. I have them right here.
Days of Wine and Roses.
Days of
I've
Wine
never
and
seen that.
Roses, never seen it. all the Pink Panther mostly all the Pink Panther sequels. I know that he and Peter Sellers have some history. They didn't agree with a lot of stuff they did and stuff like that, so that's why they didn't make a lot of Pink Panther films for a little bit. Victor Victoria, he did that. He's done a lot of films and very famous.
May I interject really quickly too that
Yeah.
Blake Edwards also has the Billy Wilder thing where their Wikipedia photo is really funny, and he
Yeah.
probably could have chosen a different one.
Yeah.
Blake Edwards kind of looks like he's going ah. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, like he just saw something that's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure there were better photos of this. There have to be better photos of Billy Wilder where he's not
It
blinking.
has to be, but
Fascinating.
yeah, who's to say?
We could change them, but
We could.
I'd rather not. In
I don't
fact,
have a Wikipedia account.
Can we actually change instead? Can we like change the Scorsese photo and like the Francis Ford Coppola photos to weird, images of them?
Maybe. I don't know.
That'd be
Like,
fun.
the thing is, though, like, I actually, for college, I had to edit a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And there's actually comments, people debate of what to add on the Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
people actually, like, watch these, like, closely, and they'll be like, okay, we gotta change that. We didn't agree with that.
Oh yeah, you can't just change it, and yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's a bit of a process, but it's worth trying. I mean, if we find a photo of Scorsese picking at his like junk or something, like it scratching his nuts,
Yeah.
that'd be funny.
Yeah. What would Julie Andrews think of this photo? Thinks he looks like he ever goes on a ex-husband's? She's
I
like,
don't-
that's a terrible photo.
She's still alive, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Yeah, good for her.
Mm-hmm.
He was an old guy too, 88.
88, yeah. I'm surprised that Julie Andrews, they got married in 1969 and stayed together
Yeah.
to the end. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially in Hollywood, yeah. But
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Blake Edwards, very famous director in Hollywood, string of
Clearly,
movies, string of hit
clearly.
films, yeah. So let's see where we are in the 1970s, shall we? Okay, so he got successful. Operation Petticoat, 1959, The Breakfast of Tiffany's, Days of Wine and Roses, and then the 70s began with Darling Lily, a movie I've never heard of. But the first Pink Panther film was released in 1963. I've seen A Shot in the Dark. It's really good. Yeah. So then a string of flops, mostly, in the 70s. We got Wild Rovers. We got The Carey Treatment, as I said. The Tamarind Seed. The Return of the Pink Panther. And The Pink Panther Strikes Again. And then The Revenge of the Pink Panther, which I do not know if they are any good. I don't know if this is the one with Peter Sellers or not. Because I do know that... Peter Sellers stars a returning role. Yeah. So the more sequels of the Pink Panther. Because... right after they shot A Shot in the Dark, they had an argument. Then they talked to each other for a decade, and then they decided to make movies again. Yeah, but so not really the best 70s for Blake Edwards,
this definitely didn't hurt him though. Going into the 80s.
Yeah,
for sure.
So then 1979, 10, huge hit. Okay, so it's Dudley Moore, Julie Andrews, Bo Derek, and this is where people discovered Bo Derek. Now, Dudley Moore is a star I am not familiar with at all. He was famous in England for being in a comedy troupe called let me find it. It's called the Beyond the Fringe, with Alan Bennett, Peter Cook, Jonathan Miller, and him. Of course, if you say any of these names to a person from England or anything like that, they'll be like, oh, these guys are like one of the forefathers of comedy, of British comedy. For us, we don't really know, except for Dudley Moore. So Dudley Moore, he got famous for Bedazzled in 1967, and then he starred in a lot of films in the 70s. How do you feel about Dudley Moore's screen presence himself?
It's such a small sample size.
Yeah,
Um,
because
I
in
think-
Arthur, it's kind of like the same thing, but he's more drunk.
Sure. So I'm vaguely aware of Arthur because I know that it was remade recently with Russell Brand. And I
Yes.
know it's about a spoiled rich guy. That's all I know about it. I also, for years, thought that it was Michael Caine that played him because I got it confused with the movie Alfie,
Yeah.
another movie I have not seen, another English movie. In this one, I thought he did a good job at playing a contemptible character.
Yeah,
Somebody that
he
I
wasn't-
didn't want to win.
Yeah,
You know?
he was definitely played the well a man going through a midlife crisis well.
Yes.
But the thing is, he wasn't as a protagonist of the movie, he wasn't the best person ever.
He does not have the charisma of other actors.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other
Who would have been better
like who would
in
have
this?
been better,
Yeah.
or like how like other actors would have handled this.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I know that he was a last-second replacement, actually.
Yeah, Peter Sellers was supposed to originally play him, but
George Segal too.
oh, George Segal,
Yeah.
yes. I'm sorry, George Segal wasn't Peter Sellers. It was George Segal, who he was in Just Shoot Me, that TV show, and he was in the California Split with Robert Altman. That was a really good movie. But yeah, it was supposed to be George Segal. I think he would have done this better. I think he has the charisma and like the good looks, because I think for this role, unfortunately, you need to be a little bit better looking. Not saying that Dudley Moore was a horrendous looking man. Sorry, Dudley Moore.
He's long dead.
Yeah.
No, he's a homely guy. He's kind of a homely looking individual, I think. I don't think he's got the screen presence.
Yeah, but I
that
think
this
that's
role
like that's the
required.
main representation of all men in the Middle Ages. They're not gorgeous looking stars like George Segal back in the 70s and stuff like that. The like a little bit frumpy, like getting a little bit older, and they're like, oh, I could have so much stuff in the world and everything.
So you're
like
saying that this is before the age of the silver fox?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, this would be like what we like if we were in our 40s. This would be like how we would like.
I was actually just listening to another podcast earlier that talked about how the 70s were the time in movies for you to be an ugly person and still get, like, not ugly, but like not conventionally attractive.
yeah.
Like they were talking about the French Connection, Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider. They're guys that are not conventionally Hollywood leading men handsome, right? But they were still able to make it. I guess you could say the same about like a Hoffman or a Dudley Moore, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm so used to, like, nowadays you look at a George Clooney or Harrison Ford, how he aged in his middle age. Like, that's after this.
Yeah. But even with George Segal, I still think he could have done the role better. I feel like a little bit more charm. Because I feel like Dudley Moore, his charm is like being more sarcastic.
He's one note.
One note, very sarcastic. Very, just very drunk humor and stuff like that. Like better. It's like he's kind of like I can see like Peter Sellers. He turned down this role multiple times. He did make a cameo as a jazz drummer in a scene in a restaurant, but they cut that movie out of the movie, so we did not see it. But yeah, he's like not like a low rent Peter Sellers. I don't want to diss Dudley Moore like that because he probably is a very funny man. But I feel like Peter Sellers would have killed this role.
I have to imagine, and it's the only thing I've seen Dudley Moore from. I have to imagine that this does not complement his comedic skills and his comedic style.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the movie was like not funny at all. It was those funny moments. When he got those 6 cavities, that was funny. Stuff like that.
So I'm glad you say that though.
Yeah.
Because I have in my discussion topics here. How many times did this movie make you laugh?
Like chuckle or just like ha 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 like that?
Yeah, like actual belly laugh.
Maybe like 5 times.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because maybe my sensibilities for, a comedy, I'm probably going off of how I see romantic comedies these days and from the past couple decades where, you'd have something like a Knocked Up, for instance, where the goal is to make you belly laugh as opposed to, hey, these situations are amusing, and it's kind of a drier humor. I didn't think this movie was very funny, and I thought that its attempts... I really don't think I laughed a single time, and I thought that its attempts... Like, it had the blueprints for jokes and very amusing situations, but it seems to, like, linger on these jokes for way too long, and it beats them into the ground.
That is true, yeah. Well, this movie is 2.5 hours long, so... 2 hours long.
And that is a big problem.
Yeah.
You could easily cut this movie 20 minutes, I think. And maybe that's, again, just coming at it with the sensibilities of modern joke setup, and, like, things are faster paced nowadays than they were in 79, I'm sure. But in particular, there's the scene when he falls, he rolls down the hill while Sam is calling him, and he's desperately trying to make it up the hill. And that phone is probably ringing for over a good 60 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a long time, and they keep showing him struggling to climb, and I think you could have trimmed plenty of that off. There's a scene where he's on the beach, and the joke is the sand is too hot for his feet.
Oh, yeah.
And my God, they show, like, there's no editing. It's just these long shots of him running on the beach like you or I
kind of like Big Ed was like, hey, do something funny. It's like...
I guess, but I'm just saying you don't need a comedy to be 2 hours.
That's true.
Make it taut. Make it, I don't know. And again, it's probably just a product of its time.
Yeah.
and I'm being unfair, or at least just viewing it through a modern lens.
Yeah, like we got to mention D. Williams, not D. Is her name D. Williams or D. Wallace? Sorry, D. Wallace is in this movie. She's the mom from E.T. What was the point of her character really? It was like she gave a good performance, but like
She was she the one that was
yeah, she's the one that
he almost hooks up with in Mexico?
Yeah, and then like he
Yeah,
couldn't get it up
yeah.
because he had brandy dick. So
Yeah.
what was the point? Like it was just like
That is a good question.
because
I
it's
was
like
thinking,
she like he doesn't change his mind after like he tries to hook up with her or anything like that. Like because Bo Derek is the woman of his affections, you know.
right. I think she didn't really seem to serve any purpose other than to perpetuate to remind the audience, hey, this guy's a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's got a woman at home who's clearly been with him long enough to throw him a surprise party, to know all his friends and family
Yeah.
to invite.
You have Julie Andrews. Like why
Yeah.
would you need anything else? Yeah, it's Julie Andrews. Like,
Yeah,
she's-
and it's like, okay, there's kind of like the allure of going after someone who's younger, someone who's in the prime of their life while you're getting over the hill.
yeah.
Right? But the D. Wallace character, I guess, like, was she like kind of him hedging his bets in case, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
just
don't
like
know.
just in case like it doesn't work out or anything.
He settles on her, but then ultimately he goes, it doesn't matter anyway, because he ultimately goes back and settles for Sam. And this is
Yeah.
another issue I have with the movie. I do think it was progressive in a way to show the male chauvinist character repeatedly fall on his face.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like he still didn't learn anything. And I feel like the character, I don't know, it's just, how do I put this?
Yeah.
The Sam character is greatly shortchanging herself. Because you know what the moral of the story is? It is, hey ladies, if your man is undergoing a midlife crisis or he thinks that you're too old to be sexy, just let him fool around with a younger woman who will inevitably introduce him to some modern dating norms, and he'll interpret those as perverse or radical, and they'll threaten his antiquated sexual hangups and convince him to settle for you.
Yeah, that's kind of what it
He
was,
gets
yeah.
rewarded at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this because like it's an offensive. I think that there's absolutely a comedy in this movie.
Yeah,
I just didn't see it.
I can see that. Yeah.
I saw this as something that needed to be whittled down significantly with a more charismatic leading man and a girlfriend character who's gonna dump his ass. He's cheating on her.
Yeah.
Outright. I mean, she doesn't know that, I guess, and maybe couples just back in the day were less, you cheat on me and we're done. I don't know if that was the sensibility
yeah.
and it was, oh, boys will be boys. I don't know.
That's kind of what the message of the film was. When let's see what his name, Rob Weber's character, Robert Weber's character, he literally told Julie Andrews like, just let him, like, he's in his 40s, just let him go off and he'll come back and stuff like that. But is that really a good message? I mean, it's just like, I don't know. This is like he's not really treating her well. He's not treating any women well. Like he's just treating like women like objects, and it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to just. He's like he doesn't have Bill Murray's charisma. Bill Murray could be an asshole.
Yes, that's a great compare. That's
yeah,
a great
he can
example.
be an asshole and stuff like that, but he's so charming, we kind of forgive him.
Yeah.
Billy Moore's charm is not that. Like he can. Like I never seen Arthur, but he does like kind of the same thing, but he's just 10 times more. Like I said, 10 times more drunk.
Yeah.
It's probably more funny him seeing fall on his face a lot more and stuff like that. But
he very, very unapologetically goes back to her saying, all right, you were right.
yeah,
I'll have sex with you more. I'll find you attractive. Because he got what he thought he wanted, and it turned out to be way too radical for him.
yeah, that's what this whole movie is about. Basically, like every time you think you want something, it's not actually what it is.
Which,
It's like,
to me, again, is an interesting theme, especially in the context of a middle-aged man who, you have to look at the context. He's not married, but clearly in a devoted enough relationship.
yeah, he's got everything he wanted. He's a successful composer,
yeah.
/ songwriter, / playwright.
Mm-hmm.
They say he won 4 Oscars. He's dating Samantha Taylor, which is Julie Andrews. There's probably just kind of like a Blake Edwards, just like transplant. Because Blake Edwards wrote this movie.
Right.
He's probably was in his 40s by then, maybe 50s or something. I'm not sure exactly, but he was probably feeling the same way. But I'm guessing he didn't do the same thing that this character did. I have no idea though. But but it's just like. There is a way to do like a midlife crisis movie that's like a little bit more funnier.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And like, he probably would be the actor. I mean, maybe if George Segal did the same thing, maybe we would still have the same comments because he's still doing the same things. But I don't know. I feel like he would have added like this more charm to it, or maybe
That is good. Now I'm picturing Bill Murray from Groundhog Day in there,
yeah,
and it fits a little better, I'd say. I don't know. It's not one of those things where like I think the message is so damaging. I think it's just, it's not satisfying watching him fall on his face because he's already
No.
so unrealistic. I think just in terms of this guy's not likable or charismatic. Why does he have all these people fawning over him? Is it just because of his success in Hollywood?
I guess so. Yeah.
No, I mean Samantha Taylor, she looked successful in her own right. Like
Yeah.
she looked like a woman that was not gonna give put up with any guy's nonsense. In fact, my favorite scene of the movie is when they're in the bed and they're debating about the word broad, and they're talking about how she's sick of sexually liberated women being basically referred to as tramps and broads or whatever, and he's clearly of the older mindset that women's autonomy threatens him,
Yeah.
right? They're just kind of a accessory to have, I guess. I don't know. He seems to appreciate her to some degree, but then at the same time he's bitching to her about the surprise party that she threw him.
Yeah. Well, he's in a rut. That's the
He is
main
in a
thing.
rut.
He's just in a rut. He's just like, I need a challenge, or like I need something new.
That's true.
And then he finds Bo Derek. Like
we all get into ruts, but he had a pattern of dickish behavior.
Yeah.
A pattern of it, and Julie Andrews did not deserve that.
Definitely not. Okay, yeah. So that's our thoughts about Dudley Moore. Let's go on to Bo Derek. So this is like the film that discovered Bo Derek. She was a very famous model probably before. This is like maybe her third film. I'm not really sure, but this is like the most like if you had a poster back in the 80s or 70s, if you had a poster of like a Bo Derek with dreads in a bikini running, like that's the poster you had. That's one of the posters you had, definitely. Yeah, so Bo Derek is the object of Dudley Moore affection. He saw her on her wedding day. They just in a car and is like, this is it, boom. Follows her. Very weird behavior. Just do the wedding.
Yeah, and it's not even really clear why at first, and then it culminates in that crash with the police cruiser.
Yeah. Oh no, TJ, you're gonna love this. The first film she was ever in was called Orca.
Oh, the horror movie?
The horror movie, Orca the Killer
Fantastic.
Whale.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did know that her original husband was 30 years older than her, and they had to live outside of the U.S. for the first part of their marriage because she was 16. And, they couldn't move back until she was 18. He's the guy John Derek, the guy that directed, like, Tarzan, the Ape Man.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever,
That guy's
he was kind of a shitty director, I think.
Yeah.
But I do know that, and I do know that even years later, after he was dead, Bo Derek has never, I think, regretted or been like. So I mean, there's that. I guess I don't know.
One thing I do love about the wedding, TJ, you know who the groom is?
No, who played the groom?
Flash.
No way.
Yeah, it's the guy who played Flash Gordon.
Oh my God, it was.
Yeah.
Sam J. Jones.
Sam J. Jones.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Flash Gordon.
I did know he looked familiar. He looked like any, not long hair, but any Mark Hamill hair type having guy in the 70s that showed up in a movie.
Yeah,
That's
Flash
funny,
Gordon.
man.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Sam J. Jones.
Sam
And
J.
Brian
Jones.
Dennehy was in this movie,
Brian
too.
Dennehy,
He was
second
Don,
movie,
the bartender.
Second movie, Brian Dennehy and Bo Derek were together. The first one was Tommy Boy.
That's right.
Yeah.
They were in Tommy Boy
The second
together.
one was Tommy Boy.
Second, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
But anyway,
very
so
true.
Bo Derek's the object of affection. She doesn't get that much screen time besides the end. 'Cause that's when we reveal her real self, which is like the norm for these types of movies. Like your real object of affection reveals herself. Just like she's not what you seem. It's not what she seems, or something like that. But yeah, what do you think of the cornrows? What do you think of that?
I don't think it looks good.
Yeah,
Really, I don't.
I think this started the trend of white women getting braids when they go to like Jamaica or something.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of a touchy subject. I'm not too familiar with the cultural reasons behind it. I don't know. I just don't think she rocked them too well.
Yeah.
That's just me. Again, I know that she was
I don't know why
iconic in it.
Yeah, I don't know why they said cornrows. But it's
I
weird.
don't
It's in
know,
Mexico too. It's not like it's in like heavy. Like it's not in Jamaica or like very populous place that would have cornrows and stuff like that in Mexico. Yeah. But the cornrows took 2 women 10 hours to braid and required the use of Elmer's glue to stay in place during filming.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seems like you could have given her any other hairstyle and it would have been less of a headache. But
Yeah.
Did Blake Edwards ever give a reason why?
I think it was that one when they had sex and like the hair goes in his mouth. I think that's the only reason why they
Just that one visual
that one
gag?
visual,
Yeah.
one visual gag, yeah.
Okay.
Just like it'd be funny.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we saw the scene where she starts running down and everything like that. I think like we over dramatize these moments of like when people experience these sexualized moments. Like we did with Some Like It High because it's just like it's Marilyn Monroe and like her skirt blows up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But really, it wasn't that much, and I feel the same way about this. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just her running. I mean,
Yeah.
she's probably the first one to do it like this, but I haven't seen any Baywatch, but I know Baywatch, slow motion, stuff like that. Like we've seen this in movies countless times. We parodied this probably because this is the beginning of it, but it's been parodied so many times that it's kind of loses its
Well, and
effect.
obviously it's not a novelty in 2024.
Yeah,
Right? We've
Exactly.
seen so much more.
yeah,
But yeah, like I feel like neither of those was as good a scene in their respective movie as like Ursula Andress and Dr. No coming out of the water
Yeah.
with the bikini. Like I feel like that one should be more iconic in my book, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you said, it's been parodied so much that I didn't even like think about it as the iconic scene.
yeah. Me neither. I thought
Yeah.
it'd be like I don't know.
I guess I was probably confused, like kind of merging it with the idea from Baywatch of the slow motion.
Yeah, me too. But it
know,
was
and
just her running. It was
Yeah.
just like Maybe I was expecting like dun, 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 dun,
Oh, that
or
would've been
something to
good.
play something, but
Or the Chariots of Fire.
Chariots of Fire or something like that. But no, it was just like a really. It wasn't even that long. It was like very
No.
short.
No. It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Marilyn Monroe dress thing because that was so quick
So quick, yeah.
and banal. Like it's crazy to think that it became such an iconic scene in movie history.
Yeah. Maybe they should have done more with the fantasies. I feel like the fantasies weren't that great. They made them more maybe outrageous or something like that.
See, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, because a lot of them was just like him kissing her and like or the running scene, stuff like that. But
It's all pretty.
yeah. There weren't any like many hijinks when like he never talked to her until he saved her fiance. Husband.
It's a good icebreaker.
It's a good icebreaker, yeah. But it's like you don't see times where like he's trying to talk to her, but things get in the way. Just like
Right.
like what if like the bellboys get in the way or something happens or like D Wall's character is like this falling all over him because like what happened or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't really see that. It doesn't really add to it. It's just him looking at her, some dream sequences, and like some hilarity ensues. Like I think I'm trying to remember, but mostly the end is mostly him playing piano
Yeah.
and him talking to Brian Dennessy the whole time.
There's not even like a brief scene of them, interacting where he kind of puts the Riz on just a little bit. No, it's so blatant. Like it's just so out of nowhere that like when they actually do almost hook up, I'm thinking, is this a dream of his? Because like so he saves her husband, and then all of a sudden she's having him over, and she's just got sex on the mind.
Yeah.
That's it. Like there's no real discernible reason why she'd even be attracted to him. But
Yeah. Besides that, he saved her husband's life, and like he is this famous composer who.
maybe it is just
But the thing is, though, she
Blake
didn't even know
Edwards
who he was.
right.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know. Maybe it is kind of like the Blake Edwards fantasy, or not Blake Edwards, but just the male fantasy is that.
Yeah, like you're you just turned 40 or 42 or something
Right.
like that, and you're just like, like this is it. This is gonna happen.
You're kind of homely looking, but this bombshell lady's having
Yeah.
you in her house.
Every
and-
sitcom in like the 90s was like
yeah,
funky looking guy, and then
Right.
the most gorgeous women ever.
Yeah.
as a wife. Yeah.
it is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I think like I can tell like this whole time like it wasn't gonna happen. Like I can tell like this from the beginning, like it's not gonna happen. He's not gonna sleep with her. Almost happened, but no, it wasn't gonna happen because I realized like okay, this is not gonna turn out what he wants, and he's just going to deny her, and then he's just gonna go back because You know, you can just tell. Like,
You know what it's like? It's a lot like that famous line in The Dark Knight when Joker says, "I'm like a dog, chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught one."
Yeah.
It's like we always think we know what we want. Or it's like even, I'll quote Oscar Wilde. What does he say? He says, "In this world there are two tragedies. One is not getting what one wants, and the other is getting it."
Yeah.
Basically meaning we're always discontent, right? People don't know what they want.
yeah,
half the
exactly.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
profound Oscar Wilde allusion in the movie 10 by Blake Edwards.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, but Bo Derek, her performance, I think, was really well. 'Cause
Yes.
She was not dumb. She
No.
wasn't like, outrageous or anything like that. She was just a normal woman who knew what she wanted and was fine with everything she was going on.
And she sold that, yeah.
She sold that.
She didn't come
And-
off as a dumb bimbo or anything like that.
Yeah, but once again, Dudley Moore couldn't accept it. It was just like, no, like, this is insane. So we don't really know his fantasy.
He's
His
threatened-
fantasy was just like a girl, a very hot woman, and maybe that was just it. Like, there's no
who needed him.
who needed him.
She
That's
didn't
it.
need him,
Yeah,
right?
she had a fine life. Her husband, her marriage was probably a sham, but they didn't really care. They would have slept with anybody else anyway.
Yeah, they were
But they were
happy.
comfortable with that. They were happy, and Dudley Moore can't handle that. So
Right.
he's like, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
Right. Because she's got different values than him. And
Yeah.
I think he's really just looking for the submissive, like a submissive woman who will give into his every sexual, sexual desire and be only his. You know, he's kind of appalled that she's willing to sleep with her husband and him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't know what he wants.
it's ridiculous. Yeah. 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 She gave a great performance. I think she did well.
Did you find slapstick in this movie funny? Did you find it effective?
I don't know, the major part of most of that was just like the dentist stuff because I thought that was good.
The dentist stuff and the hot sand and like when he's talking to the police, I actually thought that part was clever.
Yeah.
When he gets home and Sam calls him, but he can't communicate because he's all pumped up with Novocaine.
Yeah.
So she thinks his house has been broken into, and she calls the police. That again, that's a funny situation, and they can't understand him, and they're pointing guns at him because
Yeah.
he sounds like a madman. That's a funny situation, but again, maybe it's just all in the framing of. It's one long shot. The camera doesn't really move at all to help add to the zaniness
Well,
of
the thing
the
is, though,
situation.
the slapstick kind of ends like right when he gets to Mexico, because mostly, I'm sure the hot sand, him trying to save the husband, Flash, but there's a little bit of slapstick or like comedy foil in that, but mostly just him drinking and then playing the piano, and then he can't have sex because his dick don't work. It's just like that. And the humor kind of ends right there, and it becomes like this sadness that he's just a really kind of pathetic man who thinks he wants like the ultimate fantasy, but he couldn't do it.
You're right.
Yeah.
So he'll settle for Julie.
Who's studying for
Andrews,
Julie Andrews? Yeah, exactly.
Thoughts on the his songwriting partner who was gay?
Yeah, that's actually really new to like 1979. I wouldn't think they would do that. It's really weird. Like you see how progressive the times were back then, but also how like non-progressive it was.
Yeah.
It's really insane because I thought Robert Webber gave a great performance. Like
He did, and it's kind of interesting looking at his relationship with the younger man.
yeah,
and
and
how
definitely this he's just maybe the young man's using him more than he wants to know. Like he knows, I think deep inside that he's just using him, but he's just hoping maybe deep down that there's something more to it. And then I'd like to see his movie, his story, more than Dudley Moore.
Right, that's an interesting character,
Yeah.
and it actually still seemed like a healthier relationship than whatever Dudley Moore was trying to get himself into.
Yeah,
But
So
I do think it was a parallel in a way.
Yeah,
to
it was
show-
his own midlife crisis because he was dating a way younger man
Mm-hmm.
who I don't know. He wanted to. Well, it's just like Dudley Moore and Bo Derek.
Yeah,
Exactly. Robert Webber's character wanted to kind of control his boyfriend more, so they're together and stuff like that. But the boyfriend wasn't going to go with it. He was going to hang out with people, like do whatever he wanted, go to the store, whatever.
right.
Yeah, but
Right.
that was his own midlife crisis, and he's seen what Dudley Moore's going through and stuff like that. So you see what's going to happen, and then what actually happens if you actually do go through with it, you end up with heartbreak and you're back to where you were. You
Yeah.
know, so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was far more interested in knowing that story than the one we got ultimately, but it would have been nice to have more of that character and less, maybe a little less of
Yeah. That's like the one major flaw of this movie. You want to see more of the side characters than of Dudley Moore and stuff.
100%.
Like Julie Andrews is a famous Broadway like actor,
choreographer,
dancer, actor. You know, famous actor. Mm-hmm. She's performing a play. You know, her kid's hilarious. Love her kid. It's like you an asshole. That's
that kid was great.
Yeah.
What the heck? I don't remember the kid's name. But
but you were like.
Yes.
Like I apologize to you when you apologize to her. It's like okay. It's like you kind of were a prick.
He's a down ass kid. Yeah. Because George calls Samantha's house and her son answers and her son knows that he's up to no good and shuts him out. It is pretty good. The kid was good.
Mm-hmm. I do think like the one characteristic of Dudley Moore did like at least he wasn't like a total asshole. He realized that he was wrong and then he did
That's
like
true.
try to make up for it even if he didn't admit to everything he did. But he realizes that don't let the guy die, save him. When he was drowning and stuff like that. He has like some kind of heart or like something conscious to be like you got to do this.
He does. Yeah.
So at least he kind of stopped. He realized that what he was doing was wrong. But it doesn't. He still kind of went a little bit too far and like.
He's definitely pushing the envelope of good taste, but yes, he does know when not to go over that line, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's obviously I wouldn't say he's a good. How about this? He's not the worst person in the world, but not a good boyfriend.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking
not
of
a good boyfriend at all.
Ever heard of Lolita?
Actually, I was gonna.
I think the guy's name was like Humpert or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Right.
He's detestable. He is a cocksucker.
Mm-hmm.
He sucks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's terrible, but it's so funny because he gets this comeuppance all the time, And that's one of my favorite, one of my favorite comedy devices. You see an anime all the time. You see the perv get like whacked with hammers because he tries to sneak into ghost showers and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I find it hilarious. I understand it is creepy. I understand, but as long as he gets his comeuppance, that's the funny part.
Right.
And that's the part that we can kind of forgive because the person's not being rewarded for this behavior; he's being punished.
Right.
And maybe he was kind of punished enough. I mean, the woman he loves is like denying him. He's getting he had to get 6 cavities removed because he wanted to get the information. Had to go on a long ass flight to Mexico. Still whacked out of his mind from like Novocaine or something.
Yeah.
He couldn't get his dick up when he had tried to have sex. He's even more pathetic. It's just like he did his comeuppance in some way, but in the comedy sense, I think it would be better if there was more physical and more out there.
And tighter editing.
Again, yeah.
You can't do. I don't know. I just think comedy dies when there's too much realism. When you have long shots that are unbroken. It just messes with the timing and overdoing things like him jumping on hot sand. That gets to me. And whereas in Lolita, yes, you see Humbert or whatever get his comeuppance, and it is effectively funny because he is such a cartoonishly bad person.
Yeah.
What George is going through here is, again, he's just a pattern of just being a scumbag boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's not enough that he's pining after Bo Derek's character, but that he's also kind of teasing the middle-aged woman again, played by Dee Wallace.
Yeah.
He's kind of like teasing her a little because she's in a similar position, I think, right, where she's feeling unwanted sexually or unsatisfied.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do anything with her and Brian Dennehy's character or anything like that.
That would have been fun.
But Brian Dennehy was kind of wasted in this movie. I mean, he was mostly. I thought he was going to give that like the sage advice of a bartender, but really he was just there, just to hang out with Dudley Moore.
That's it. Yeah, just be like a confidant.
Just be a confidant, Yeah.
I
thought he should be like the arrows of his ways or something like that. But he was just the bartender. He wasn't Tom Cruise in Cocktail. Okay.
I'm sure he was not.
He was not Tom Cruise in Cocktail.
How wild would it have been though if Brian Dennehy cracked a Jack Daniels bottle and slit someone's throat?
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Fucking nuts.
That'd be insane. Yeah. So yeah, but.
He also went to George. I'm sorry to interject, but I wanted to make the point that not on top of the whole Dee Wallace teasing and then the pining for Bo Derek, he also did go to his neighbor's sex party.
Yeah, he did
openly,
and this and
within view of Julie Andrews.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She needed the telescope, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about that briefly. He and his neighbor have an understood.
Yeah,
pervert.
Yeah, you can watch me, I can watch you.
Yeah. They watch each other have sex, and
Yeah.
the neighbors having all sorts of ladies over and
Yeah.
good time parties, and Dudley Moore is not giving him anything in return to
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? I mean, that's really what it is.
Not really. I mean, that's all it is.
They don't flesh out the neighbor at
I think that was
all.
kind of funny. You know, I've seen that guy in like multiple like things. He was in Barney Miller and a bunch of other movies. I think he was in Weekend at Bernie's.
Okay.
I think he was the hitman. I'm not sure. I forget. But yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. But I think that was also one of the funny parts of the movie. Yeah. I think we should go on to Julie Andrews, who I think was one of the best parts of the movie. She was amazing.
Yeah, I thought
she
she was
played
the
a
best
woman
part.
who was still in love, but also fed up at the same time perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, like she wasn't taking shit from anybody, and she did great in that. Like her next movie after this, I believe, was S.O.B., another Blake Edwards production, which kind of like her in real life. You know, she was it's The Sound of Music. She was on these musicals and stuff like that. Mary Poppins, was that her? Was that Julie Andrews?
Yeah, that was Julie Andrews.
So she's just like, okay, now we're gonna get her for this like dirty, dark movie and stuff like that. And I'm like, I never seen S.O.B., but I heard it's not the best. You know, like I can see that in her in this movie. You know,
Sure.
definitely, she's more independent, more on her own. You know, she may
Yeah.
still love Dudley Moore, but you can definitely tell she can take him or leave him. You know,
Why
just
did
like
she? Why did I just? I
I don't know. Why do we fall for anybody that we love? You know, it's just like,
Fair.
that's the way it is. Yeah, but she gave a great performance in it.
She did. She was the best character and the best performance in my book.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, next to the kid.
The kid was great.
Kid was great. Yeah,
Possibly Red Button's MVP.
possibly
worthy.
Red Buffins MVP worthy. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this movie?
No,
Really?
not really.
Not really. Yeah, I'm kind of dried out. So,
I say we move to final thoughts or like awards and reviews. And
Yeah,
all that.
that's
Whatever
right.
you prefer.
let's go to final thoughts, shall we? Okay.
Sure.
So I don't know. Once again, another one of these movies was about a white man who like is middle aged, really successful in life, but like doesn't feel fulfilled.
A tale as old as white men.
Yes, definitely. So what does he do? He finds a hot woman and then obsesses over her, and then realizes, wait a minute, this isn't what I want. I really want a normal life with my wife and kids.
I'm afraid of what these young people do
Yeah.
sexually in the sack.
Exactly. So yeah, so this movie is sort of funny. Like it made me chuckle a few times, didn't make me laugh out loud. You know, Dudley Moore, probably an amazing comedian. You know, I haven't heard any of his stuff with his comedy group from the 50s or 60s, or any of the other movies really. But you know, he's probably really funny. But I think like he didn't fit this role. Maybe George Segal or Peter Sellers would have done better. I didn't really connect with the main character at all. I don't know. Would I rewatch this movie again? Not really. I mean, not even the scene most famous from this movie was that really groundbreaking. But of course, we've seen multiple scenes like that throughout our time. I mean, it's been parodied over and over again, and you know, not even parodied, just used over and over again.
It's been parodied tens of times.
Tens of times. There's dozens of us, TJ. Dozens of us.
Yeah, it's a great reference.
Yeah. So yeah, but you know, it doesn't really do anything for me. You know, at supporting actors, we're grading this. Dudley Moore, I would say it was okay. I wouldn't even watch this movie. I mean, it doesn't age well at all. You know, I would give this movie like a 2.5 stars out of 6.
Well, you're more merciful than I am. I would not say that this is... It's an inoffensive movie in
Yeah.
terms of content, but in terms of a comedy, it didn't work for me at all. I didn't have a good time watching this movie. I didn't have an actively horrible time.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like, oh my God, like I'm checking the remaining time. But I didn't have a good time watching this movie. And then I was rereading my synopsis earlier, and I thought, you know, maybe I'm being too harsh on this. Because there are elements that, on their own, I think are amusing. They're fertile soil for comedy. Things like the voyeuristic relationship with his neighbor.
Yeah.
Getting arrested because he shot up with Novocaine,
Yeah.
and can't communicate with the cops. Or drunkenly stumbling into an orgy. That's all
Yeah,
funny.
something like that, or like,
you tell me that these scenes happen, and I'm going to be like, wow, this movie
Him
should
trying
be
to
funny.
interact with Bo Derek multiple times, so I was just staying there. Like, each time, like something happens, you know.
Right.
Something like that, you know.
Right. These are funny in principle. But in execution, they didn't work for me. The scenes are so oddly drawn out and kind of they get redundant quickly, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure this movie was considered fresh in 1979, especially with how, you know, the protagonist is, to its credit, it is a little progressive. It gives us this chauvinist male protagonist who doesn't really get a single L or a single W.
Yeah,
all
it's kind of like
movie.
the opposite of Woody Allen. Of course, I've never really seen Woody Allen movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But,
It sounds like it anyway. He doesn't get a single W all movie. When he finally does, he's afraid of it. He doesn't understand it, and he runs from it.
Yeah.
Right? He can't stand to be just to have a woman on his level. Is how I read it.
He can't stand
level of
like a
autonomy.
woman who listens to classical music while they're having sex.
Yeah.
It's like no, she wants to be playful and stuff like that.
Yes.
But no, he just wants to get to it straight.
He's there to be in charge,
Yeah.
to show her the ways of making love with Dudley Moore, how
Yeah.
that goes, and she's in charge of the
woman.
situation.
Yeah, she's a
exactly,
woman,
and it does threaten him. That's what it's all about. In a way, it does succeed in showing the quote unquote male menopause and the midlife crisis thing. Right, it succeeds in that
Yeah.
way.
I think it would have been better if they actually didn't have sex. Like this would be the opposite of something like hot. Not
Like he gets shut down. You're saying
get shut
like,
down.
She's
Like
excuse me.
like they have a date and maybe she is like pushy or angry or something like that, or maybe like not what she thinks at all. Even though it still happens, but maybe she's just turned off and he rejects her. I mean, she rejects him.
She rejects him. Yeah,
She rejects
that would
him.
make
That's what I
more
meant.
sense. Yeah, that would be a
makes more
progressive
sense.
way. This, to be honest, I don't have an issue with anything in the story.
Yeah.
It's just all in the
And
execution.
maybe Brian Dennehy would be like, yeah. And there's like, I've seen guys like you countless times, something like that.
Yeah.
Something else. But maybe it made, so it's like I said, Bo Derek did a great job showing as a strong female character and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But, but this is something else. I feel like a little bit more. But yeah, but continue on.
No. All I had left to say was I think it works in the story realm. It's fine. As a comedy, though, it did not work at all for me. I gave this a 1.5 out of 6.
Wow.
I know. And that's not. I probably what's the other one that's similar to this that you mentioned earlier?
Not Something Like It Hot. It was
The 7-Year Itch.
7-Year Itch.
I
That
probably
was
gave
it.
the
The
7-Year
7-Year Itch,
Itch
yeah.
a better rating. This one's a better movie. It
Definitely.
is objectively, but man, I just could not disagree more with Roger Ebert. Obviously, his review was contemporary.
Yeah.
Right, but I didn't see it as a 4-star movie at all.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep. Well, those are our final thoughts.
It's better than any movie I've made.
That's true.
You
It's true. Well, those are our final thoughts. It's now time for Ebert's thoughts. So here
right.
is Roger Ebert. Ebert time. Ebert time. Ebert time. Ebert time. Ebert time. Ebert.
Let it rest.
Okay, let it rest. Okay. So, like we said before, Roger Ebert gave this 4 stars. He says that Blake Edwards 10 is perhaps the first comedy about terminal yearning. It deals with emotions very close to the heart. In this case, being a unutterable prognose of a man's desire for a woman he cannot have. Its uncanny humor gets laughs by touching on emotions, yearnings that are very real for us. Which I don't think so at all. The central treasure of this film is Dudley Moore's performance, which I don't know. This maybe they never really saw like that, because you think Woody Allen, like his performances back in the 70s, he was a nervous man who was very fidgety and would make rude comments and stuff like that. But Dudley Moore was also rude, but he wasn't like paranoid or schizophrenic all the time. He was just like he was very successful, but he just didn't know it. He was just going through a crisis, and he dealt with it in his own way. That's one difference I see from. Once again, I've never seen mostly any Woody Allen movies, so I can't really compare the two.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen many Woody Allen movies either. We'll have to do those sometime.
Yeah. Canceled directors. That's what we want to talk about.
Yeah, that would be good, actually.
Yeah.
That would be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, at least Roger Ebert enjoyed the movie.
Yeah. He loved Bo Derek's performance. He said she was so desirable and pure and cheerful, embodiment of carnal perfection. Julie Andrews' small, delightful role as a sensible mistress. Warm performance by Robert Webber. And Brian Dennehy as a understanding bartender was also good. Didn't say also good, but paraphrasing.
Okay.
He goes on to say, 10 is not only one of the best films that Blake Edwards has ever made, but also a turning point in his career because of his flops he's had recently. And he goes on to say, did he have another good movie in him? Yes, as a matter of fact, he did. So he really loves this movie.
Okay.
I don't know.
I could see this being one of the first movies to actually poke fun at male insecurity.
It's true,
And
yeah.
so, again, it was revolutionary for that, no
That's
doubt.
true, because Woody Allen, whenever he poked fun of male insecurity, he would make fun of romance and like how he deal with romance and
Himself.
Himself,
It was
yes.
more personal, yeah.
Yeah.
To make fun of it, like to show instead of, like, a Woody Allen type who's nervous and sweaty and
Yeah.
kind of frumpy looking. Not like Dudley Moore is a better looking man, but instead to show it with a man who's, successful.
Has
right?
some charm to him, maybe,
Right.
He's still charming for you when he plays the piano and stuff like that.
Exactly. He's talented. He's not some schmo,
Yeah.
He's obviously successful in his his professional life. So yeah, I guess I could see this movie being revolutionary. Again, I just think that there's plenty of good reasons why it's not spoken about anymore.
Yeah,
Really, right?
definitely.
Okay,
Yeah, so
well,
that's what Ebert's thoughts.
I'm happy that Ebert's happy.
All happy that Ebert's happy. Letterboxd, we got quite a mixed reviews. I think the score was about 3.7, 3.6, around that range. Some positive reviews. What are you like when you're not worried? Or it's an exquisite arrangement. The most stressful episode of Mr. Bean I've ever seen.
Outstanding.
4 stars by Laud. I genuinely disagree with Bo Derek's assessment of Ravel. Matt Lynch, 3 stars. And then these are the negative reviews. I've already given this thing 2 hours and 2 minutes of my life, and that's more than enough. It would take at least that long to list everything that makes this comedy about an entitled, boring little prick's midlife crisis repulsive. The only time I laughed was when I imagined Bo Derek was playing Rachel Dolezal,
Okay.
the white woman who pretended to be black.
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Oh boy.
1.5 stars by Team Gal. And then the last final bad review. Fell asleep 3 times while watching this. There's basic no plot. There's absolutely no reason for this to be 2 hours long. This is normally where I would say that they should have cut 30 minutes out, but in the case it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
So 1 star by the introvert.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So once again, mixed reviews. Or like some people loved it, some people did not. Let's see what the Academy Awards thought. This was nominated for some awards.
No shit.
So let's see. This would be the 1979 Oscars, so it took place in the 1980s. Let's see. Does it have the Academy Awards in here? The 52nd Oscars. It was nominated for Best Original Score by Henry Mancini, and also Best Original Song, It's Easy to Say, by Henry Mancini, and lyrics by Robert Wells. I'm guessing that was the song he was playing on the piano at the bar. Or was he singing? I'm not sure exactly.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that at all. Yeah, so. Also Golden Globes, Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. All nominations. Best Actor in Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Dudley Moore. Best Actress in Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Julie Andrews. Best Original Score, Henry Mancini. And New Star of the Actress. Sorry, New Star of the Year, Actress, Bo Derek. So yeah, I forgot about these categories where they do New Star of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about those. But yeah, but all nominations. Let's see what was going on during the 52nd Oscars. Who was nominated? Okay. This was the famous Kramer versus Kramer year. The one we've done
yes.
about 1 time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we've done multiple films from 1979.
We'll see.
Kramer vs. Kramer, of course, won. All That Jazz, an amazing film. If you have not seen it, watch it. It's very depressing.
I know, I've heard it's very good.
Robert, who was the guy who was in,
Robert Allen Arthur?
No, he was in Jaws.
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw, I was right. He plays Bob Fosse in it, and he's usually known as like the cop, he plays like a cop or something. Mm-hmm. Completely different, he nails it. It's amazing.
Oh, Robert Allen Arthur I'm sorry, that's the producer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Completely amazing it. So go check out All That Jazz if you haven't. It's a great film. Apocalypse Now, gotta rewatch it.
Love that movie.
Gotta rewatch it. I don't think I was in the right mind frame to do that, Once again, I keep on thinking of the critic scene where it's like, it's Apocalypse Now, the musical.
Oh my God.
name's Colonel Clink.
Oh my God.
And you just see Marlon Brando dancing.
Always wanted to see that show.
Yeah.
Never seen it.
Mm-hmm. Really good. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Breaking Away, great film. A lot of young stars in that. Let's see, who's in that? Dennis Quaid's in it. Daniel Stern, Jackie Earle Haley.
Oh shit.
Great film. It's about a group of young kids in Bloomington, Indiana, trying to find themselves. And one wants to be a famous Italian cyclist.
Nice.
It's actually really good. And then Norma Ray, a Sally Fields vehicle where she plays a woman who's trying to form a union in the in like a wool mill or
Okay,
something
yeah,
like that.
she won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, she was the best actress. Yeah. So yeah, so that was the Oscars for that year. Let's see where this ranked in the box office of 1979. Let's see.
Oh, it's probably pretty high up there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So the top 10 of the box office for 1979. Number 1, Superman.
Oh, nice.
Dun, dun, dun,
There's some heavy hitters in here. Okay, I won't spoil it. I won't spoil your list, but now I'm looking at some. There are some heavy hitters for
Yeah.
1979.
Amityville Horror. Great movie.
Okay. Wow, that's number 2?
Yeah, the Amityville Horror. I love
Holy
that
crap,
movie.
it is a great movie, but I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saw the remake of it. It's actually really good. Not really
Yeah.
a horror movie, but well-made movie.
The Ryan Gosling?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan
version.
Reynolds, rather.
Yeah, it's actually really good. He did a
I've
good
seen
job in it.
yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't play like his normal character. So like
No, oh my
always
God.
yeah,
He's the exact opposite of
yeah,
his normal
actually
character.
really good in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocky 2.
Yep. Tracks.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
That tracks. Yep.
Alien.
Yes.
Apocalypse Now. And then number 7, 10.
Wow. That's impressive, man.
That's
That is
impressive. Yeah. 8 with the Jerk, which is amazing.
Love that movie. God, I love that
He's
movie.
shooting at the cans.
It's a great movie.
It's hilarious.
I sometimes think about attaching something to my glasses
Yeah.
so I can actually have those.
9 was Moonraker. The one where they go to the moon.
That's right.
What's that rank for you, TJ? Moonraker?
Moonraker rather is probably lower middle. I do like it, but just being
Well,
realistic,
definitely
it's
one of the goofier ones.
Oh,
right?
definitely. It's
Yeah.
actually got a really interesting first half, and then it kind of like goes off the rails, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It's fun.
10 was Meatballs.
Okay.
Yeah. The first Bill Murray vehicle where it's, he runs a summer camp and somehow there's an alien in
I
it.
always get Meatballs mixed up with the Disney one about the fat camp.
Oh, yeah. What's that
With
called?
Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
What the hell
What's
is
that
that
called?
stupid movie called?
It's called Heavyweights.
Heavyweights, that's
Heavyweights,
right.
yeah. I was too confused.
Meatballs.
Yeah. Just about the top 20. That's it. 11, Escape from Alcatraz.
Nice.
Great Clint Eastwood movie. No, is that Paul Newman? No,
It's
that
Clint Eastwood.
yeah. Paul Newman was Cool Hand Luke.
Yes.
Manhattan, Woody Allen vehicle. All that jazz. Amazing film. Maybe should have won Best Picture. I know we'll probably disagree with that because you've seen Apocalypse Now. You love it. But if I rewatch it again, maybe I'll agree with you. But I still think all that jazz is amazing.
I'm a fair reviewer.
Yeah.
You know, I know my biases, and I try to overlook them.
Yeah.
Or work around them.
Definitely. 14 was 1941. That was the failed Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his first...
I thought that was a flop.
Yeah, that was made some money, but it wasn't good. Well, if you're like 14th in 1970s, not really the best. It only made like $31 million, which is a lot, but still, like 15th, The Champ. I think that's the Barbra Streisand hairdresser movie.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. Then you have The Rose, a movie I've never heard of, and then The Warriors.
That's a great movie.
Warriors.
That is a great movie.
Out and play it.
That was really
This
good.
is so memorable.
That was very well done.
My dream has always been in high school, like one Halloween, I somehow convinced my whole entire class to dress as like each gang from the Warriors.
That'd be
One
sick.
day. We don't tell anybody either. We're just like one day a group of kids are the baseball Furies, and other kids are like are the Warriors. You know.
That would have been
That'd
outstanding.
Yeah, that's my dream.
Well, I've got bad news for you.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah.
You could get it at work, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. 18 is Normal Way. 19 is a re-release of Animal House. And number 20 is La Cage aux Folles, which I believe is a... Oh, no, this is the French... Well, this is the first version of... You know The Birdcage from 1996?
Yeah,
This is the original film.
Oh, cool.
This is the original
I've seen
film.
The Birdcage.
Yes, yeah. So this is the French film.
Very cool.
Yes, that was it. So, yeah, that was the major films of 1979. So let's expand a little bit more on that. So, yeah, that's mostly it for 10.
Very thorough.
10.
9,
10,
8,
10,
7,
10,
6,
10,
5,
10,
4,
10,
3,
10,
2,
10,
1.
10. That's mostly it for that.
Very well done. Very well done.
Many other great films I probably would have watched from 1979 on this list.
No kidding. It was a strong year.
Strong year. So that's the end of this season, TJ.
That is the end of the season.
Is this the end? We'll have our rankings next episode for Next Mini Solve where we reveal our next movies we'll choose. Maybe we'll mix up how we do them. We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I still have no idea what I'm going to choose.
I'm going to start. I think one of my themes for these seasons is going to be movies that you use to cite actors' resumes.
Yeah.
Like the bad ones, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use those maybe one season. But I have a couple ideas that I'm excited to workshop. So we'll see.
I haven't really thought of anything, but I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this season. Next season, season 5, I believe, right? Season 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 5. Yeah. So thank you for watching. Not listening, actually. Thank you for listening to us for these past 4 seasons.
You don't want to watch this.
No, you don't want to watch this. I'm in my basement right now, and you probably heard the pipes going through, which means somebody took a crap in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just look terrible.
Yeah, true. Mm-hmm. Do they know that you have a third eye?
I didn't know that you realized that.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought the Band-Aid covered it up.
No, it doesn't. It didn't at all. No.
Jeez.
Anyway, we don't really have a final thing. We're bad at this. Once again, just talk to us, somebody. Just tell us what to do.
Yeah. This is a show for the people, by the people, and... Hold on. Government for the people, by the people. This is a show of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Yeah.
You tell us what to do.
You tell us what to do. I don't know. We don't have any really fun games.
WrestleMania predictions.
WrestleMania predictions.
We're going to rapid fire them, okay? We're going to rapid fire them. You first.
Me first. Let's look up WrestleMania cards right now because I have not been paying attention a lot of times because I watch more AEW. More people will probably yell at me for that. My friends are lame, most of them. They don't realize how awesome AEW is. Let's see here. There we go. Match card, remember, cage side seats. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we have not the first match of the night, but Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the Universal title. Who you got?
Ooh. It's got to be Cody Rhodes, I think. But then at the same time, I'm going to go Cody Rhodes, but I would not be surprised if they just wanted to mess with people again.
I will also go Cody Rhodes.
It's got to be Cody
My
Rhodes.
guess, The Rock's going to do something. Something's going to happen. Maybe he'll turn on Roman because my guess will go on. We'll wait for that prediction.
Well, they'll have a match the night before. Oh, how far out of this are you?
I'm very far.
Oh, well, let me usher you through this first.
All right.
No, is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, this works out fine. My predictions don't mean anything anyway.
Yeah.
Because we'll probably have the same. All right, this is for night 1.
Okay.
Not necessarily in this order, but this is the Wikipedia listed order. Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch. Becky won the Elimination Chamber, Women's Elimination Chamber, and is challenging for the belt.
Yeah. That will go with Reign. Sorry, not a Reign. Becky Lynch loses.
Rhea Ripley retains.
Because
Okay.
I don't see why she needs the belt.
I agree.
She's Becky Lynch. She doesn't need the belt.
I agree, and what they've done with Rhea Ripley has been great. Rhea Ripley has been convincingly dominant. Rhea. All right, number 2. For the Intercontinental Championship, Sami Zayn takes on the Ring General, Gunther.
I think you give it to Sami Zayn. I know Gunther's the greatest Intercontinental Championship of all time. I haven't been watching him, but it's Walter. It's fucking Big Daddy Walter. Okay, He's a monster.
He's great.
He's amazing.
He's been such a breath of fresh air for that belt.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And I think it's
Gunther to the main
event. It's time for him to face the Seth Rollins, the Cody Rhodes of the world, man. And also give Sami Zayn another title because he deserves it. Because he had to go through all this stuff with the Bloodline and still didn't get the title in his hometown. And then
he was the hottest guy, right?
The hottest guy. Yeah. I don't know what he's been doing for the past month since, but my guess not a lot.
Being the ultimate underdog.
Being the ultimate underdog. He won the World Tag Team titles with Kevin Owens, lost them, And he may have been. Has he been in the mix at all lately?
Just in the mid card mix.
Just in the mid card.
Give the man a mid card title.
Yeah, give him
the Intercontinental title is now legitimized again.
Yeah.
And they're actually doing the same thing with the U.S. kind of.
Yeah. So Sami Zayn, once again, greatest underdog of one of the greatest underdogs of all time, will do amazing things for the title. You want a fighting champion. Sami Zayn is your fighting champion.
Absolutely. I love to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. This is a 6-pack tag team ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. There's the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, who are the champions. DIY, which is Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Ciampa,
thank you. Versus the Awesome Truth. They're back. The New Day, A-Town Down Under, which is Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and New Catch Republic, which is Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
Yeah. All right, so basically there are 3 teams I want to win. I love Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. They're great. But I don't think they're going to win the title this soon. They just formed, like, what, a month ago or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Judgment Day, doing good right now. But I don't think they're going to win this match. I think it's time for them to move on. Maybe Damian Priest soon, cashes in soon. I don't know if they're going to ruin Cody's spotlight or something. Or maybe he goes after Seth Rollins. Who knows? Maybe he does the Seth Rollins to Seth Rollins,
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that, something like that, But, I don't think they're going to win it. I love DIY. Love Johnny Gargano. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time when I watch him on NXT. Him and his feud with Tommaso Ciampa was probably the greatest feud I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he got cut short because of COVID and injuries and stuff like that. But still one of the best matches I've ever seen before, ever.
They've been great in the few DIY matches I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the ones with the Revival and stuff like that. Love the New Day. Always love the New Day. Always want them to have the gold.
Yeah.
But for this one, I'm going to go DIY. I'm going to go DIY with this one.
Yeah, it's a good guess. I think, obviously, Awesome Truth and the New Day are there to just have the veteran presence to ensure that the match is going to be good.
Yeah.
And New Catch Republic, they were really good when I saw them at Elimination Chamber. So they've got, obviously, potential. I am going to, just to mix it up, I'll go with A-Town Down Under.
Wow.
Austin Theory, it's a really dumb pick, I know. But Grayson Waller is actually very fun to watch as a heel. He's just such a douchebag. And Austin Theory's got that douchebag energy, too. Maybe they try and resurrect him a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, next match. The third brother versus brother match, I believe it's the third in WrestleMania history.
First one was Matt Hardy. No, second one was Matt Hardy versus Jeff and Brennan Owen.
Yeah, Jay versus Jimmy. Who you got?
So main event, Jey Uso is the man. Saw him at SummerSlam. Probably should have won, but multiple times.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns could have lost, but once again, you got to complete the story or whatever. I think it's the feel-good moment of the year. Give him the main event, Jey Uso. Yeah.
It's got to be Jay.
Maybe they'll connect again, Or maybe they had that one moment where Jimmy's just like he's got to give up for him or something like that. Or like this connection again,
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, so I'm going to give it to Jey Uso.
I'm with you there.
I just hope it's a good match because I know Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy, any match they have together is not great. But once again, Brett versus Owen was one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. So
hopefully, God, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, this one has potential to be a real humdinger.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Usos. They've been wrestling for decades. They're professionals.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
All right, next match. 6-woman tag team match between Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control.
I'm gonna go Jade Cargill's team. I mean, she just debuted. They're not gonna let her lose on the first time. I mean, she's still very raw, still very green. I mean, hopefully, I was hoping in her time in AEW, like we could see her progress more often and stuff like that. But I know she's been training in the Performance Center and stuff like that, and they do great work. But she's still probably very green. And my guess they're gonna have Bianca Belair and Naomi do the most of the work. So I'm going Jade Cargill's team. Maybe they'll set something up with Bianca and Jade, something like that, Like maybe she'll steal the pin Jade from Bianca or something like that. But yeah, I'm going Jade Cargill's team.
I dig it. I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Tag team match. Not sure what's going on here. The Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
Dirty Dom
Dragon Lee is amazing. I've seen his time in he had a great feud with what's his name? It's not Hiromu Tanahashi. I think it's Hiromu Takahashi. He was a junior heavyweight in Japan, or still is a junior heavyweight in Japan. I don't know if he graduated. He was one of the best junior heavyweights of all time there. He won the Best of Super Juniors like twice, I think. Multiple time junior heavyweight champion. Very great character. Very out there. Very weird. It's amazing. Him and Seven Stuff Dragon Lee is great. Go check it out if you haven't. Dirty Dom though. I mean, how over is Santos Escobar as a heel? Is people really connecting with him or something like that?
Not the best at Elimination Chamber. That's the last WWE thing I've watched, and that was in February though. So who knows? Because I'm with you. If he is more over than he was, because that was the start of his heel turn. If he's more over, and Dominic obviously is
Dominic's
nuclear.
Yeah.
I say have the heels win that. Ray won last year. And you don't have to have Dragon Lee look bad at all.
Yeah, Ray's definitely going to take the pin on this. I mean, he's been in the league. So
I say I go the bad guys.
yeah, go the bad guys.
Yeah.
If you want to build Santos Escobar as a real heel, he has to win.
You do. He does.
He has to win. Yeah.
All right. Good. And then this will probably be the main event of night 1. Tag team match between the Bloodline, The Rock and Roman Reigns, and versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. And now, so the way this works, if Rhodes and Rollins win, all members of the Bloodline will be barred from ringside during the match on night 2. And if The Rock and Reigns win, the championship night on match 2 will be held under Bloodline rules.
What does that mean?
Probably just no disqualification.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
no.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so, I think it doesn't matter if Cody Rhodes wins or not. Like, the Bloodline's going to be there no matter what. Like, it just somehow it's going to happen.
You could have great infighting. You
Yeah.
can have great drama. You can have the real head of the table, Rock versus Roman at SummerSlam, without the belt. The belt does not have
Yeah,
to
the
be
belt
a
does
part
not matter,
of that.
no.
Yes.
So I'm going Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins in this. Something's going to happen. You know, maybe Roman Reigns is going to cost him somehow, and The Rock is not going to be happy about it. And then, you know, maybe the next night, going forward, something happens. Like, The Rock is going to interfere, but he's like, and like he wants to have the table back. And then Roman Reigns finally loses. But, you know, I think they got to set up this match. This is what the match they've been wanting for years now.
Yeah.
And SummerSlam's a great time for it. The Rock has performed great in SummerSlam, especially with Brock Lesnar and that match. But, you know, for some reason I connect SummerSlam with The Rock. I don't know why. Because he's not like Mr. SummerSlam or something like that. But I just connected with him. Maybe because of the 2002 pay-per-view. But, you know, yeah, this is Cody Rhodes with Seth freaking Rollins. They win. My guess, Roman Reigns does something to cost him the match. Like, The Rock tells him to do something, but Roman Reigns is like, no, because he's the head of the Bloodline, you know, because he's not going to listen to The Rock. But then it costs him the match, and then
That's interesting. That's
yeah.
an interesting approach because I do believe Cody will win the next night. So I thought there's no way Cody, they have the faces go over both times. But you could make it work. They could find a way to make it work because either way, all 4 of these guys are bulletproof.
Yeah.
Right now.
Do you have Roman Reigns losing though? Because he has to take the pinfall then.
I see him losing. Okay, that's a good point. I see him losing the title night 2. I see the heels winning night 1. I see Seth freaking Rollins taking the pin or something.
Has to be something like
It's gonna have to. He's gonna have to get like rock bottom twice and a couple spears, super kicks. There's gonna be.
There has to be something though, like some kind of animosity between The Rock and Roman Reigns though. I mean, was it okay for Roman Reigns to lose twice in one night? Is that okay? He's been champion for so long. He's untouchable.
No. I think the heels will win the first night. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what you think.
And so there will be a bloodline.
But if you go my scenario, like say Cody Rhodes and Seth wins, is it okay? Because I don't think The Rock's gonna take the pinfall. He won't. But is it okay if Roman Reigns takes the pinfall twice in one night?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think
twice
so.
In 2 nights, I should say. Sorry.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it'd be better for Rocky to take it. He's older. He
That's
doesn't
true.
need the flowers, man. I was gonna be so irritated if he got the title again.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it.
All right, so yeah, you're going
I'm going Rock and
heels.
Reigns.
I'm going the faces.
All right.
I think that was going to happen.
All right.
Okay.
Night 2. For the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth freaking Rollins defends against the Elimination Chamber winner, Drew McIntyre.
I think this is going to be easy repeat for Seth Rollins. He's going to win.
Oh.
I think it's finally going to happen. He's going to lose his title that night, but it's going to be because of Damian. Yeah, it's going to be not Damian Sandow. Damian Priest. Mm-hmm. He's going to do it.
I agree.
I think he's going to do it. Seth Rollins to Seth Rollins.
I agree wholeheartedly.
This is the time. He's held the title for. He's held that repeat for long enough. He's probably going to lose the titles the next night, and the night before anyway.
Yeah.
So that way, just like have the bloodline going up, have the Judgment Day go up on top, make them one of the top factions, which they already are, but even more top with the world title in their hands.
Yep.
Yeah. Especially Damian Priest. When we first saw Damian Priest, he was in ROH. He was as Angel Martinez. I didn't really like him that much. Then I saw him in NXT and stuff like that. Really caught on. Damian
Nice.
Priest. So yeah, really happy for him.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We both agree with Cody winning. Right?
Let's go on to Io Sky and Bailey. Then we'll talk about the main event.
Yeah, I don't know why it was listed in that order. But yes, for the WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky defends against the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Bailey.
Now this is the opposite a Becky Lynch because Bailey, I think, needs the title.
Yeah.
She's a great character with a heel persona and everything like that. But Io Sky is so cool. She's awesome.
I don't want her to lose it. But I think she will.
I think she will.
And it won't be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Bailey's great, and I don't know how long Io Sky has been the champion, but do you feel like she's been good with the reign? Io
Yeah.
Sky?
Oh my God. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She puts on great matches. I don't watch the weekly programming, so I probably can't comment. I can't comment on like the promo work and stuff, but she puts on really great matches.
I know Bailey betrayed her because she was in Damage Control, and then it's over now.
Yes.
I love Bailey. I love Io Sky. This one's a hard one. You know.
It is tough.
I'm going Bailey. I'm going to go Bailey.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too.
Uh-huh.
All right. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
You got to give it to him. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With everybody saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. And
gotta be LA Knight.
Into a nice...
This is it. This is how he's going to beat AJ Styles, one of the best wrestlers in the world. This is it.
That'd be huge.
It's already a huge star. You got to boost him up even more.
All right. Well, here's hoping that with McMahon gone, so is that mindset of, the self over guys are screwed, right?
Yeah. It's got to be LA Knight.
All right. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For the United States Championship, a triple threat match between the champion Logan Paul, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens.
Now, deep down inside, I think Kevin Owens should be world champion all the time because Kevin Owens is the best. He's the best.
He is the best.
He's amazing. Kevin Owens is great. I do think, though, Logan Paul will retain this title. I don't think he's losing it. I don't. I haven't been watching it all, but I don't know. I don't think they're over with him, Once again, he's a great wrestler. He's doing great. I don't like him in wrestling. I don't want him in wrestling. I think a lot of people kind of agree with me with that, because of things he's done in his past and his kind of obnoxiousness.
Oh, he's a natural heel.
Natural heel, yes. But, yeah, I think he's going to win it. Maybe he'll steal the win from Kevin Owens or something,
Oh, he's definitely going to steal the win. If he wins, it's definitely not going to be...
I'm just wondering, how he's going to integrate Prime into his match.
He always does.
He always does. I'm just wondering how that's going to happen.
I'm with you. Logan Paul, brass knuckles, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty straightforward. Or he takes, he's like steals the pin from.
I think Randy Orton's going to take. I think Randy Orton's going to take the pin in this.
That'd be big. Yeah. That'd be big. All right, a 6-man Philadelphia street fight between Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross. Akam, and Rezar? Akam and Rezar.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Authors of Pain.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I think this one's an easy one. It's going to the Pride. Bobby Lashley. The Hurt Business was hot. It was insanely hot. I don't know why they broke it up. Should have kept it together. Should have kept Shelton Benjamin and Alex. What's his name? Alex Shelton. Alexander or something. But he was also a great performer. But I love Bobby Lashley. I love the Street Profits.
Yeah, Street Profits are fun to watch.
Heel turn's probably going great. I don't really determine. Yeah, so I think the Final Testament is going to lose because, I don't know. I think Karrion Kross is good, and so is the Authors of Pain, but they haven't done anything since, 2019, the Authors of Pain, since they were in NXT. And Karrion Kross has not done anything lately.
I'm actually really surprised to see him at a WrestleMania.
Yeah. My guess he's going to be the piss break match. He's just we need something to fill the time. You guys hit each other with chairs and stuff while everybody get...
That's what a 6-man Philadelphia street fight is.
Yeah, everybody cools down, wait for the main event.
Yeah.
Which will be Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
All right, I dig it.
Okay. So, we already gave this away, but we both think Cody Rhodes is going to win. What's going to happen during the match to cause Roman Reigns to lose? I don't know. Because I don't think they're going to have Roman Reigns lose clean. I don't think it's going to happen.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
It would be interesting. I don't know why you had to protect him, because he's already a top guy. The best, when one guy's in wrestling. But something's going to happen. Either, something's going to happen during... If, say the heels win, night one of the main event. Maybe, The Rock and him disagree on something, almost cost them the match, and it's okay, we're good. But then, throughout the night, maybe they cut the promos of them backstage, them having arguments. So, be hey, head of the bloodline here, something like that, And maybe The Rock just can't take it anymore. Maybe The Rock does something. Maybe. I don't know what. Maybe distracts Roman. Maybe he thinks he's going to help Roman. Because, they're going to knock out the ref or something. And they're and then he's fuck it. Boom. Hits Roman Reigns the belt. Multiple times. Hits a rock bottom. Hits the people's elbow. And then walks away. And then Cody hits. My guess is still not going to be enough. I want to say 2 Crossroads because I know I've seen multiple, but maybe just to put the exclamation point, 2 Crossroads. He's not going to try to pin him the first time. It's 2 Crossroads, and he's going to pin him 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes is new champion. He's written the story. Yeah,
that would be insane.
That would be insane. So yeah, So that's our WrestleMania predictions. I have not watched any WWE. You have, so it's gonna be exciting.
I just watched the pay-per-views, and then on Tuesday mornings on my first union-appointed 15-minute break, I checked the Raw results. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. So yeah. Hopefully it's good. WrestleMania have gotten better lately. I mean, it's not really like the slogfest it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I know AEW has long pay-per-views, but even if like 6 matches, they still could run like 3 hours long. No matter
the two-night format's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good way of doing business.
Yeah. So that's our WrestleMania predictions. The end of season 4. We don't have any movies for next week because we got to decide the next ones. So
we'll be back with a mini-sode.
We'll be back with a mini-sode. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry, listening. Thank you for listening. If you like us, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter at @it_dammit. And it's still new to us. If you like us, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, on SoundCloud, on Spotify. We're not going to iTunes. I'm not paying $20 a month. I already pay more money for anything else right now. We're not doing it unless I actually do.
How many more options do you people need?
How do you want? You got so many options now, guys, okay? So many. Jesus.
It's these listeners, Mike, they just piss me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe, comment, tell us how we're doing. If you like us, if you don't like us. The guy in Japan, tell us how we're doing. Hopefully you're still listening. Yeah, but, thanks
What did you think of 10?
Yeah, what do you think of 10? What do you think? Tell us how you think of 10. Is it a masterpiece? Is it good? Does it suck?
Are you Dudley Moore's ancestors?
Maybe. Who knows?
Say hi.
Say hi to us. Yeah, so tell us how it is. Thanks for listening, guys, once again. And let's have Robert Mitchum play us out.
Adios.
Adios. Bye. Oh, yeah, we forgot to do our lines, but fuck it. Let's just end it.
And I've been called a two.
Let's just end it. Fuck it.